What's going on, guys? Max and Los here for another episode of Down the Middle. We are on a episode shooting spree today. We are shooting a bunch of mini episodes, and these will be distributed over the coming weeks because Los is going on a 10-year vacation.
Going to Mexico. As soon as I get back from Mexico, I'm getting in my car and I'm going to Sarasota, Siesta Key. And then as soon as I get back from Siesta Key, I'm flying to Vegas for my buddy Ryan Pineda's event that I'm speaking at. And then the day before, I'm doing a podcast with Bradley. Busy month.
Very busy stuff.
So we want to get some
and I'm doing nothing over the next month, but because of that, you know, we're
it's not the same without both of us. I didn't do it last week because I wasn't here. I had our Powerhouse event. I was like, just go to the office and shoot. And he's like, I'm not going to shoot without you, dude. It's weird. And it is weird when you can't do it. Like, I don't want to shoot with, like, it's down the middle of Max and Los. Yeah. And if we have a guest, that's cool, but it's got to be us. Yeah,
exactly. So we are bulk shooting. So we're doing little mini episodes, and they will be shared over the next 3 weeks, depending on when you see this. So let's do. We just did a episode, depending on when you're watching this, probably was last week if you're listening to this right now, about inflation and the economy and the recessions. And today we're going to talk a little about the future. And one of those topics is Apple. A news article came out basically saying LG, there's some insiders saying, hey, LG started producing OLED, I believe OLED screens for their AR headset. So it's kind of it's a sure thing now that Apple is going to be releasing a new product, right? The last new product, I believe, was the AirPods. That was their last kind of big product. And I think that the stat I heard, this is crazy. I think if AirPods were its own business,
it would be a multiple billion.
It would be like in, I think, the top 20 biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
So Apple has a history and a track record of when they roll out new products, they have more hits than losses.
Yeah. They don't even have to innovate. They just have to launch something in a different color now. It's insane. I also heard, maybe you heard this also, but they're releasing a ads platform.
Yeah. I mean, well, they have, so they've always had one. So like if you go on Apple News, for example, and stuff, there are ads within there. So there is Apple ads, and they have the App Store now that they have advertising in there. But yeah, I think it is only a matter of time before they roll out something much more robust.
They have all the data.
And much more competitive to a Facebook or Google or Amazon.
I just wonder what that looks like, though, because how you navigate your phone is not in a social manner, right? So how would an ad work? Because you obviously have in-app ads, which are, they convert in some capacities, but it's not the thing. So
yeah, I think there's a few possible paths that could go down. And again, one goes back to like this AR product. And then I think if you're a marketer, I just tweeted this today. Well, if you're watching this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, depending on when you're watching this. So it's hard to do episodes where we're thinking in the future and in the past at the same time. But basically, like if you're a marketer, this should be something you're very, very interested in, because anytime there's a new medium that comes out that's mass adopted, it opens up obviously massive marketing advertising opportunities, right? You look at the internet, you look at the smartphone, just game changers, TV, radio, right? And I view this one as, if it is a hit, like most of Apple's products have been, and all of a sudden there are hundreds of millions, if not billions of people that are mainstream using AR glasses every day.
It'll shut down Oculus.
That is, yeah, I mean, it's everything though, because now it's a whole new layer on top of reality. That's augmented reality is AR. And so the advertising potential there is massive, but it's very different, right? It's a whole new medium. Yeah. So the way you market and all that stuff is going to be different. But you ask, like, what does a ad platform look like for Apple? Like, I think the obvious one is that it continues to expand into their own products, right? So just deeper integration with news and weather and stocks and all the apps they have, Safari. I think what could be interesting is if they open it up. So like if you're an app, right, using Apple's ad ecosystem, kind of like Google with websites, where you plug that into your app, and they might even have this. I haven't dove deep into Apple on their ad side yet. So if you're a small app developer, you can now, monetize your app with ads inside there, and it's powered by Apple, and Apple takes a cut from it. And then if you're a brand, you can advertise and target specific apps. Because that's what, I mean, you look at like Uber Eats and a lot of these apps that aren't, Facebook or Google, they have these kind of micro ad platforms in there where you can sponsor stuff. And that's a whole new monetization path for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch that. Speaking of like marketing and advertising, just with everything that's happening, we're both heavy in the e-com space, and there's there's some. I think it's a good time if you're in the e-commerce space. I just left our powerhouse group, and I think things happen in seasons,
Yep.
right? And it's a good season to really focus instead of like massive astronomical growth. Kind of focus on new products, new SKUs, maintenance, business, kind of like foundational stuff, because seasons pass and things will blow up. But I was talking to somebody else. I was talking to Tommy Patterson, and just about the coaching, consulting, kind of like e-learning space. What do you think is going to happen? I think it's going to boom even more with the economy. He disagrees because he's like, there's not going to be money for people to pay. But I think that no matter what happens, people are looking for a way out, and you're going to have to invest in something. Money doesn't just like halt, right? And so I think if you have to find a way, when there is a will, there's a way. I think I'm a big believer that learning trades that are like e-learning style is like IM 3.0.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a balance, right? I think obviously if things get horrifically bad, then people shut down all spending. It doesn't really matter what you sell. But I think at the same time, like, people don't just shut down.
Right.
Right? People don't just turn off and just say, I give up.
They find a way.
Right? Most people are going to be like, okay, I lost my job here, or I see a lot of my coworkers losing their work, losing their jobs and stuff. I'm going to go learn this skill. I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to go try this. And they're going to look for resources where they can do that. Right? I don't think it's a coincidence that you're seeing more and more influencers, authorities blowing up.
Right.
I don't think it's a coincidence that you see guys like Ryan, guys like Hormozy, there's always been influencers on social, especially in our industry.
Right.
But it does seem like there is more today that are getting more views, more engagement, more followers than ever before. And to me, what that illustrates is that there's more people
more demand for that
wanting
knowledge.
to learn this stuff.
I agree.
And they're actively seeking it out, and they're following more people. And so I think that translates into the next stage is, okay, I can follow these people, but if I want to learn more, I'm going to buy their courses and their trainings and be in their paid communities and be in their paid groups.
Right.
So yeah, I tend to fall more in your camp than Tommy's. And again, no disrespect to Tommy. I think he's a brilliant dude and awesome guy. But yeah, I think it's going to continue to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think it's regardless of whether we go into recession. I think the way our future's moving, it's people are generationally, when you look at Gen Z, millennials, and younger, are less. They're not like our parents and grandparents who just. I started at 25 working at company X, and I retired there at 65.
Right.
That's not what we do in younger than us.
People keep a job 2.5 years now.
Yeah, they're changing and changing and changing. They're passionate about learning new things. They want to try new things and do new things.
And young, like 16.
And you can't do that in school. So I think you have this convergence of generational kind of I'm trying to think of the word here. Not wanting to do something, dissatisfaction. So like a generational dissatisfaction with the way careers used to work.
Right.
And at the same time, a generational change in the way people view education and the traditional education system, and more access to content online and the way people consume content and learn. And to me, that means bigger opportunities for people that teach stuff.
Yeah, I think it started to look different. I mean, me and you have been in it for like almost 15 years, right? So like we call it IM, like internet marketing, like 1.0, just like product launches and doing stuff. 2.0 is kind of like coaching and like, hey, let me teach you how to make money so you can do like a side hustle or build a new life. I think 3.0 is a little bit of that, but a lot more people. I'm seeing like my buddy Robbie, he's teaching people how to be a remote integrator for our company. Cole Gordon's teaching people how to be a salesman.
Yeah, remote selling.
Ashton's teaching people how to be a media buyer. With affiliatemarketing.com, we're going to start teaching people how to be an affiliate marketing manager. And then on the back of that, they have connections in those industries where they can do placements. And I think a lot of people that mostly it used to be like, I want to be rich. I want to make money online. Now it's like, I want to learn this trade. And it's looked at with a little bit more respect. Like our industry started off and people thought we were like weird people online, like scammers and stuff. And now I think it's a little bit more kind of like we actually are like opposing education and like an alternative to college,
Yeah, I think it's that, and I think it's also a combination of people, especially younger generation, realizing that and this is like Gary talks a lot about this, and he's been talking about it for a long time. Is like, if you like playing video games or playing Magic cards or whatever it is, like
go all in.
You can make money. You can make a career doing that now.
Yeah.
So people are realizing like I can turn basically any interest or hobby into a career, but you need to learn how to do that. Right. So there's so much kind of career out there. There's so many jobs out there now because everything technically is becoming a job that can be monetized.
Yeah, and that also skews a lot of like the numbers on like people not having jobs. Like they don't count side hustles and side careers and like people that are just starting their business out.
Yeah, and that's why the IRS is starting to go after Venmo and all the they're going to start looking at all these little people that are making $1,000 here, $2,000 here, because it's more and more people are
Yeah, it's past $600 they start looking, right?
Yeah, which is just wild.
It's insane. I mean, that's like a couple nights out with friends. Like, I owed you money. You know? But it's
that's a whole other story.
yeah. That's a whole other thing. Speaking of noob topics, where are we going with this?
I mean, just for me, it's just like what's interesting, and I know we're doing these a little differently, guys, because we're
doing
trying to do
one topic.
Yeah, multiple episodes, so we're on a time crunch here. But for me, it's really just like thinking. I talked about this at Base Camp a month or so ago, where I said, especially in marketing, the thing that is making you money today is likely not going to be the same thing in 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
And I think that's an important concept to think about. Our industry changes so fast that you can still do well with like Facebook ads or Google ads. I'm not saying like that you can't still make money, right? I've been doing Facebook ads for 10 years. So again, some core stuff, but I'm saying like the big money, like the next big thing, you're not on the tip of the spear of Facebook anymore, right? No. You're on the other side.
You're not even on the tip of the spear of TikTok.
Yeah. You're kind of catching the middle adoption of it. So like, I really think it's important to look at things like what's happening with Apple, to look at where like AR, VR, Web3, all these transformational technologies that are slowly getting to mainstream, and thinking about like, how can I advertise there? Like, what opportunities are going to be there? How can I be early to that wave? Because that's where you make a lot of your money. So we started this episode talking about Apple and AR, and I think like really diving deep into that and like brainstorming and thinking about like, what does that look like? Like, can I build can I take, and so it's a combination of studying history and looking at the future and saying, can I take, like, what are the things that are needed to run ads in these ecosystems? Because they don't really change. You still need the ability, you still have a marketplace that connects advertisers with inventory. You still need to have all these things. So can I build a company? Can I do something to prepare for that? Like, it's an important lesson to think about, and I think more people should be doing it in our industry.
Yeah, I think it's a really good time, and we kind of ended both episodes the same way, but I think it's a really good time to kind of not freak out and sit back and say, okay, if this, whatever my job or career is, it's not, I see the future and it doesn't look the best, right? Like hotels, they can't get people to, I'm digressing for a second, but hotels and restaurants can't get people to go work there. And so they're starting to automate stuff. Like I've been traveling a little, so hotels now are like, hey, text us if you need anything, because there's no one there, right? And so some jobs are going to be lost, and if you're in a position that you think that might happen, it's the best time ever to sit back and be like, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of six-figure plus jobs that you can do half from home, maybe fully from home as well. So it's a really good time to start educating yourself. And like we said last time, in case you didn't hear the episode, media buying, email marketing, anything in the marketing space, becoming a sales guy, learning a trade, learning how to code, even learning how to be a chef. I mean, restaurants aren't going to go anywhere, you know?
Yep, exactly.
So, guys, that's it for this one. We're keeping them a little bit tighter because we're trying to do a few more, just because I'm on kind of sabbatical here for the month of June, which was accidental, just overbooked the crap out of it. But if you guys want to say hi to us, please hit us up on Insta. It's the best way, at Los Hustle and at MaxFin. Please share this episode with somebody. Tag us when you do. And if you do tag us a bunch of times and share it, we might give you a surprise. We might send you something, DM you. So keep an eye out on that. Thank you guys for listening. Share it with everybody. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.